I'm really struggling to find gratitude. And I'm sharing this because I know there's people that can relate. But right now, it's just really fucking hard. And I'm sitting in a car that I haven't been able to drive. Well, I haven't had a car in years. And I'm fucking mad at myself because I'm like, why are you still not happy? But listen to this. I just recorded a couple minutes and fucking deleted it. But you know what? I just want to say, I can understand why some people choose not to work. Because it's easier, and y'all hate on them all you want. But they cut my benefits. I'm working overtime, and I still can't afford to fucking live. And like, it comes down to even just basic needs. Me and my kids don't live outside our means. But I'm gonna be so real for a minute, and I don't even care who hates me for this. I've had to even start traveling to stores outside of the immediate area that I live in because I was trying to get a discount at certain stores so I would not scan certain things, and it was always like food items and things that like they would have ended up throwing away anyway, like for example pre-made grilled chicken breasts that they would have ended up throwing away, but I could take home and like prepare a couple meals with it, or fruit, or just stupid shit like that I've seen at food pantries that I know these places just end up throwing out because these places waste so much fucking food and they don't that's a whole nother story. But it's so fucking hard to just have faith and just people say God has a plan, God will make a way. But I'm lucky I didn't fucking get arrested. They fined me with like a $500 fine and I'm banned from all stores of that chain for like 5 years. And it wasn't even anything selfish, like I was literally trying to... Oh, fuck, I'm not gonna make excuses. There's no excuse for that. It was wrong. I know, I understand. But how are y'all affording to fucking live right now? Like, I just want to be able to be grateful for the things I have because I know that there's things, like, it could be worse. It has been worse. For me, specifically, like, I have not had an easy life, but I haven't had, like, the worst life. So, it's like, when... I don't know. I hope I don't come off like pity me or whatever, but I fucking hate money. I hate money so much. For a while I was able to live that like mentality, that faith-based lifestyle. Like I just trusted that things were gonna work out, but it's like you also have to balance the realistic factor of it. Like you can't just not worry about things when you have the whole fucking financial responsibility and life responsibility of yourself and 3 children and a cat and bills and everything. Like you can't just live this carefree like, oh, everything will be fine. It's like, maybe it's my fucking broken brain, but I can't wrap my mind around like that it's a sin to worry. But lately all I can fucking do is non-stop from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep worry about fucking money and how I'm gonna figure out shit. Like, how was I ever a drug addict? I don't understand. Like, obviously things were different back then. I wasn't alone, but like, even if I wanted to fucking use these days, I would never even be able to begin to afford it. Like, I don't know. I don't have anyone to talk to, so please don't get on here and like be mean. I'm not doing this for any type of pity or like I don't want anything from anyone, I promise. I really don't. I'm just like, how can I remain faithful and a loyal servant to the Lord and just trust that He has a plan for me and that this is just another, part of that plan when bills aren't paid on trust and faith. And it's like, that sounds very awful to say, and maybe it is, but I don't know. Sitting outside of Walmart and I'm like counting everything up and it's like I can't risk like trying to get a discount anymore because at this point I'd probably fucking go to jail. And it's like, I don't know. If you made it this far, thank you for listening, but I'm gonna go try to make some magic happen. So I know like Easter's not about gifts or anything like that, but I at least want to cook my kids a nice dinner. It's like, oh fuck, man. How are y'all doing this right now? How are y'all single moms working that don't qualify for benefits? How are you surviving?
So yeah, I made a video about me owing student loans, right? I owe about $150,000 in student loans. I got 2 degrees. I got a bachelor's in biology and I got a master's in secondary education with an endorsement in clinical mental health counseling, right? I said, so y'all mean to tell me y'all gonna garnish my check? I'm trolling, right? I made that video last night. I never knew it was so many negative people that would comment on that video. I feel like my video reached the wrong side of TikTok. Like, just laugh. I'm not mad about it. I haven't paid these years in over 4 years. After I graduated in 2021. You think I'm worried about it now? If they get it, they get it. Don't. I ain't working in my degree because I put my kids first. I got a job that's going to accommodate my kids' schedule. But I was trolling. I thought it was funny. Like, I'm not mad about it. If you paid your student loan, kudos to you. You want a cookie? And to be honest, I feel like most of y'all that paid y'all student loans use y'all social media money. Y'all not taking no money out y'all worksheet to pay these doggone loans back. The interest on these loans ain't nothing but probably 7% or less. I pay my credit card out before I pay a doggone student loan. It'll get paid when it get paid. They in the firm, I think I'm good. But y'all too serious in the comments. Like, I don't even turn my comments off. I don't want to turn these off because y'all really doing too much. And they talking about you people. Who is you people? You mean the R word now? I don't like them type of people. If you are, please get out of my page. Block me. Scroll back. You ain't got to comment. Then they talking about you ain't take an English page. Baby, I'm in the South. This how I talk. I know how to talk. I don't try to come out here talking proper. But I just kind of speak my piece. I'm eating my hot wings. They good as hell.
I'm in my 2nd year of medical school, and this is my current student debt, $191,000, and it literally goes up by hundreds every single day. And I currently have $8 in my bank account. It's like about $100,000 a year. And I think just right now in my mind, it's not real money, because if I think of it that way, then I'm just gonna freak out every single day. So I honestly try not to think about it as much as I can and just trust that I'll be able to pay it off one day. I also know there are a lot of like programs that you can enroll in now to try to help alleviate that debt, but I just think it's outrageous how we're paying them to do service jobs that so little people want to do. And this is the reason why they don't want to do them, because like you get into your career and then you have $500,000 of debt. Mind you, I'm going to accrue more than $200,000 by the end of this. It's like I'm paying to give up so many years of my life to work for free, to help other people who need it, to go to underserved areas. Like, I'm paying you to do that. If anything, there should just be no payment at all. But I'm like just trying not to stress about it, because if I think about it, then I'm just gonna freak out. So
okay, this is not my usual content, but I felt the need to come on here and be transparent about something that a lot of people deal with, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about, which is student loan debt. My student loans are one of the biggest parts of my life and one of the biggest payments and financial burdens in my life every single day. For context, I always wanted to move to New York. It was one of my biggest dreams, but also financially not possible for my family to move me here or for me to get here on my own without getting into a school in New York. So my goal was also to go to art school for fine arts, so I ended up getting into Parsons and SVA in Manhattan, which are two incredible art schools. Upon graduating high school, I hadn't really been informed about what it really means to take out student loans and how much it can affect your life down the line. So I was like, okay, if this is going to get me to New York and this is going to get me to going to this amazing school, you know, I'll take out a big ass loan and it will help fund my life, because I unfortunately did not have the luxury of having my family be able to help me financially when I moved to New York. So this was my only way to get to where I wanted to be. My first year of school at SVA was during COVID, so all of it was over Zoom. That means that I was a drawing and painting major, basically over FaceTime. So I was doing all physical art from my apartment. My tiny ass 700 square foot apartment in the East Village was wall to wall with paintings, and it was basically my own personal classroom. I also was paying $50,000 to do classes over Zoom, which as a very young adult, I wasn't really understanding the severity of that choice and also how much it was going to affect my life, which I think happens to a lot of teenagers and young adults when going into college. I ended up staying at SVA until the next year, so I was there for about 2 years total before I realized that the financial burden that this was going to put on my life if I finished school there was going to be astronomical, because it already was 2 years in. Meaning that after 1 year of art school on Zoom and 1 year in classrooms, I am over $80,000 in debt. Yes, you heard that correctly. $80,000. And this was for tuition, housing, and everything in between, because I wasn't working at the time. I was a student. I had just moved to New York and I didn't have any financial help. Also, I had a co-signer on the loan, so I have to pay the payments on time every month, or else this person's credit gets affected heavily. So basically, since I dropped out of school, I have been working my butt off, doing every job imaginable. Thankfully now I have a job in marketing with a lot of clients where I'm able to somehow pay off the payments monthly, and I was able to get put in a hardship program, which means that my payments were lowered monthly so that I could afford to pay them, because before I was having to pay almost $2,000 a month and was literally unable to do it. Also, my loans are through a privatized company, which is extremely predatory, and it's very different than having a federal loan. There's no forgiveness for it, so you have to pay it, basically, or else your credit gets fucked. So basically, I just live with this looming crazy debt over my head, and I know a million people do too. I'm not the only person with this problem. A lot of people have more debt, but I just think that it's important to be transparent about, because not everyone's family can help them with their college tuition. It's a huge blessing to be able to go to college and have it paid for or paid off, and a lot of people don't have that. So if you have debt, it is very normal. Also, at this point, it doesn't eat away at me, because I'm just like, you know, it's another payment. I'm gonna have to do it, and it motivates me to work harder so that it doesn't always feel like this huge burden on my life. But yeah, I just think it's very important to talk about, and I think it's important to normalize things that people have to do and decisions you have to make your dreams come true. And obviously, if I could go back and talk to 19-year-old, 18-year-old me and be like, girl, this is a bad decision, I would, but I can't, and this is my life, and I just want you to know, if you have a ton of debt, it's normal, and so do I.
I'm so embarrassed. I am in Target because I was gonna come return something. I'm the only in here. I am so sure they're wondering what I'm doing here. It's not even funny. I'm so embarrassed. The more I keep walking, I was like, y'all standing on business. Y'all standing on business. It's like somebody dropped something brown on a white piece of paper. Boy, I'm standing out. I gotta get up.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
Don't worry about a return. Okay, there you go. He's Latina. Hurry up and get out of here too. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I literally feel out of place now. And I'm not one to prove a point by going somewhere and being like, uh-oh, I'm so different. Oh, okay, never mind. There goes one of my peoples. Let my people go. I must say, though, it's not as packed. Really, you can hear a pin drop in here. Let me hurry up and get out of here. Aren't we there yet?
You guys see how expensive things are now? These used to be like $1.50. Now they're $3.97.
Okay, I don't know if this is a mistake, but this sunscreen is going from $4.99 to $9.99. What?
We're boycotting Target. What the fuck? Are we boycotting Dunkin'? Because I'm going there right now too. And then I got to stop at Target on the way back because I only got one set of sheets and I really cannot stop thinking about the other set. So I am going to get it. I don't follow or keep up with anything in the news. anything like that. And it's not because I don't care. Well, it probably is because I don't care a little bit, because it gives me anxiety and it steals my inner peace. Like my anxiety would be through the roof. So like, for example, when I go to get my nails done, they have the news on the TV in front of me. It's never anything good. It's always robberies or theft or someone's being indicted for something and they've got it up on the screen. No, I got enough shit to worry about. I don't need to worry about all of this as well. I don't. And there's nothing that what am I going to start a fucking movement? If you boycott Target, there are a lot of other stores that you should be boycotting for a lot of other reasons, right? And I'm sure you're walking around naked? Are you not eating? I'm confused. Is Dunkin' okay? Are we boycotting Dunkin'? Did they do anything wrong? Because I'm going. You could tell me they could burn down and I will still break through those flames and go inside and I'll make my iced coffee myself. I don't care. You don't have to shop there. Nobody said you had to. But what am I supposed to... You don't want me to go to Target? What am I supposed to do? Sleep on sandpaper? I needed sheets. You're the one that's going to be sleeping uncomfortable tonight, not me. I'm going to be on my new sheets from Target. It's your loss, not mine. It's more sheets for me.
Was $2.18, now $3. Was $21.97, now $38.97. I don't know. Confusion. Does anybody get it? Are they trying to tell us that things get expensive or what? I'm confused.
Yeah, am I tripping? Or, like, did Walmart go up on their prices? This is not even in the organic aisle. Why is avocado $6? Or, this is insane. Almost $4 for some onions. Oh my god. And then look at this, hold on. Now the organic apples are $7.67, right? And this is a 2-pound bag, that's all you get. Oh, 2-pound bag, that's all you get. And then the lemons are $2.90. Oh no, they're not. The lemons are $5. This is insane. Now let's go to where are the other apples at? Look, these are not even organic and these are $7.82. What on earth? And these are the Honey Crisp type. So crazy. Like, here goes some decent ones. Pink lady apples. I don't know if those are sweet, but they're like Honey Crisp. That's crazy.
If you're in the US, are you still boycotting Target? Because they backed off their DEI support and black folks backed out of the stores. Me personally, I'm never going back. The data suggests it's working, so let's expand on the whole thought. So let's talk about it. Target stock price, down. Their foot traffic percentage, down. Sales, down. You get it. But this decline is not strictly because of black folks. We've definitely been the catalyst. Other factors are other groups joining in the boycott. Consumer spending overall is also down. The whole fear of recession thing. Just because consumer spending is down doesn't mean every company selling something is hurting. Amazon is still thriving and has seen growth. I'm sure they're taking some of the market share from Target. Personally, I don't want to see them thrive either. To me, the bigger conversation is understanding your buying power. I'm not talking to black people, I'm talking to everyone. You know I'm moving abroad, and this is one of the biggest reasons why. Hurting corporate America's pockets is the only way to get their attention. Some of you out there are leaving the US for so many reasons that have nothing to do with corporate America. But for those who want to make a statement, withdrawing your dollars from the country and all the corporations that you support currently cause some type of change because money talks and Target's not getting it.
Okay, I don't know what the guys over at On Brand are smoking, but $189 is absolutely preposterous for a portable Blu-ray player. Sorry, but that's not even sort of worth that money.
Hey, so this is probably the most vulnerable post I will have ever made in the history of time. And for those of you who this little blue halo is already triggering you, I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna hopefully make you feel better, and I'm honestly having a weekly crash out. I need help from you as well. This is how much money I owe in student debt for my physician assistant degree. And before you go ahead and take out the phrase that is so commonly used, oh, but you knew how much you were taking out in the beginning. No, a lot of this has to do with interest alone accruing, while I am in a hell of a limbo of what we like to call administrative forbearance, trying to get into the SAVE plan. So I worked with a student loan counselor after I graduated, and I was told to consolidate all of my Direct Plus grad student loans to be one loan so that I could apply to the SAVE repayment plan. Right as soon as I started and submitted my application was when all the chaos happened in the courts, where they just can't get their head out of their ass and figure out what they're doing. And so I never actually got into the SAVE plan. And so I have been accruing interest at a 7% rate. I've not had to pay my monthly payment. My monthly payment has been $0 because of a previous tax return when I was making $0 income as a student. But still, this amount is a literal noose around my neck. And I don't think I will ever pay this off. I fear that I will not be able to ever own a home as someone still earning 6 figures salary. Let alone children. I would love and aspire to have a child someday, but this really, I don't want to say like makes me suicidal, but like it truly makes it really hard to get out of bed every morning. And, I know I'm not alone. I know I don't even have it that bad, but I'm truly asking as a cry for help, like how you compartmentalize the stress of something like this, knowing that you'll never, ever get out of debt, because it would take an act of God to take this amount away. And people repay the principal loan multiple times over in situations like me, but they never get rid of their debt because of the system at hand. And that is what is so fucked about student loans for people in advanced degrees like doctor, nurse, anesthetist, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. What else can I think of? Any degree program that takes multiple loans and at least 6 figures to take out to go to these programs. And I did this to get a better life for myself, get a salary that actually amounted to something for my future family. And yet this is what happened. And a lot of it wasn't even the fault of my own, because I had no way of predicting that this would happen. I had no way of knowing that SAVE would not be around in the future. PSLF is my only option. I do work at a 501c3, but even then, the payment is like pushing almost $1,000 a month, and that will soon become even unaffordable for me. So yeah, I'm literally at a loss.
The truth is, I am in $135,000 worth of student loan debt because I decided at the age of 18 I wanted to go to a private Catholic university, not because I'm Catholic, but because I was the only school I could tour during COVID, and I had no clue how much it was actually costing me. I didn't realize how loans worked. I didn't know what I was actually signing up for when I got Parent Plus loans. I didn't know my interest rates were going to be upwards of 9%. And the truth is, now I live in my parents' attic. I just graduated 4 months ago, and I already feel so stuck in life. I'm doing everything in my power to educate myself. I don't have any consumerism debt, maybe like $30 on a credit card for gas for the perks, but like I don't have credit card debt. I don't have a car loan. Obviously, I don't have a mortgage, and I'm not paying rent. So I don't know how to pay this off. I'm really trying to live frugal, but I'm also prioritizing to save money for my future because I am contributing my max amount to my 401k and my retirement plan, and I really want to max out my Roth IRA this year. But the issue is I'm making a salary, a good salary for someone immediately post-grad. But at this rate, I don't know how people are having families on the same salary that I'm making. I'm scared for my future, in all honesty. And it's not that I don't want to pay the debt, it's the upwards of 9% interest. Are you, what? And when you apply for Parent Plus loans, correct me if I'm wrong, when I applied for this money, it didn't tell me the interest rate. It just gave you the money, and then you found out the interest rate after you had already received
a payment in the amount of $2,910.91. is due on. How can I help today?
I called back on April 4th and then April 18th. What's going on is...
I'm gonna need to get you transferred, okay?
Okay. The consolidation went through about 3 months later, but the IDR plan was still processing. Oh, to this day, it's still processing. It hasn't gone through.
I'm gonna brief 1 to 2 minute hold. Let me look into this further.
Okay.
For you, okay?
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Liz, I'm gonna get you transferred to a supervisor.
I'm still not seeing any account updates for the administrative forbearance. I never even got an email confirming like it was put in place or anything.
However, I would have to have the borrower on the line for that.
Okay.
That's the only thing. I'm not able to submit that with you on the phone.
Which is so frustrating. No, you've been really helpful. I appreciate it. 3 hours later. Oh my God.
I am over $100,000 in debt because of student loans. Do I think it was worth it? Do I regret my decision? Let's get into it. So I decided to become a nurse when I was 24. I went to a community college to complete all of my prerequisite classes. I paid next to nothing to complete those. Once I was done and graduated with an associate's in science with a 3.8 GPA, I started applying to nursing programs. Applied to nursing programs throughout San Diego County, through Riverside County. 2 years went by and I had still not gotten into a nursing program. Bite the bullet and take out student loans and go to a private accelerated nursing program. I went to West Coast University. This school is notorious for being really expensive. Accelerated. So you graduate with your bachelor's degree in nursing in little over 2 years. The education itself, I really don't know if like it was good or bad in the grand scheme of nursing programs throughout Southern California. What I will say is that I am in debt over $100,000 because of student loans. I don't know how long it's going to take me to pay that off. In fact, it's just like a distant future goal of mine. Like I'm not even worrying about it right now. Paying them on time, like it is what it is. Do I regret it? If I knew that getting into a regular public nursing program going to be that difficult, I would have just gone to West Coast right off the bat and saved myself those 2 years wasted. Why is it so hard to get into a nursing program is what I really want to know. There are so many RNs that are leaving bedside. Why would you want to make it so difficult for people to just get into nursing school? If you're thinking about going to West Coast and if you've been trying to get into a nursing program and you're having no luck, I would just say go for it. Go to a private program that you know you have a guaranteed foot in the door. If there's one thing I regret is that I didn't start sooner.
And the bottom of my casket will have a file cabinet for all these student loans to rest in heavenly peace. That's how much I owe in student loans. How much money I owe in student loans. Now let me provide you with some additional information since I know that this video is going to go viral because people are cruel and a lot of people are going to be ready to attack me in the comments and judge me and do whatever they got to do to feel good about themselves. I am a proud 25-year-old with over $100,000 in student loan debt. I went to school. I got a free associate degree through the early college program. I then furthered my education and got 2 additional degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship with a minor in management, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership. But one thing America doesn't know about me is that I have 1 additional degree that's not on file and it's not in the records anywhere, and that's a law degree. At any given point, I'm prepared to take the stand and explain why I cannot afford to pay a dime on them student loans. Baby, you ain't never seen a sharp, undegreed attorney like me ever in your life. It's my time to shine.
So the current job market has me worried, especially for minorities who are completing college. As a first-generation immigrant, my parents didn't have a lot of knowledge about college. I ended up signing for a bunch of loans when I went to pharmacy school, and I have about $140,000 worth of student loan debt. Half of that is private student loan debt, which cannot be forgiven under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Act, and which I don't even know will exist anymore under this new administration. So when I graduated, I started panicking, and I had a $1,200 a month payment just for my private student loans. That's not including my federal student loans. I had to figure out how to refinance, and when you are trying to refinance, you need to qualify with income, and clearly my income was not supporting the amount of loans that I had taken out. very frustrating for me to figure out, and I hope that girls that are, you know, first generation immigrants can do a proper cost benefit analysis. I know that's hard to ask for when you're 17 and 18 years old, but please talk to other people. Again, I didn't have cousins here, I didn't have family here, I didn't have anyone to reference. I am the oldest child. Again, it's not everybody's case. My husband has a very different background from me. He did his undergrad at Columbia University. His parents paid for his schooling, so he comes from a place of privilege, which I wish I could have related to, but I can't. Sorry, I got distracted. I was doing my makeup. But what I'm just saying is, if you can, always choose the cheaper college option, unless it's a very specialty or niche program, which is what I had thought I was going to do, which is why I chose St. John's University. Do not go to St. John's University. Honestly, the quality of St. John's University education was horrible, and $60,000 or whatever the base tuition was per year, it was insane. I ended up getting a bachelor's in education. I have enough credits for my bachelor's in pharmaceutical sciences, and I also got a master's in psychology because as a teacher, you need to go and get a master's. I got my master's at a much cheaper college this time and a much better college experience. Unfortunately, that college has closed down now, but all I'm saying is if you are a first generation immigrant and you are looking at colleges and you're choosing colleges and you see this current job market, please do your due diligence, do your research, look into fields that are foolproof and that are recession proof, hopefully. And yeah, good luck.
Why did I decide to go to law school when I would be over $100,000 in debt? So if you're worried about applying to law school, you're worried about money or stuff like that, watch this video to know what not to do. Because I probably made the stupidest decisions possible while applying to law school. So one thing to know about me is I applied to pretty much every law school I could. I looked for all the free waivers. And yeah, I treat law school like an investment. So when I was applying, I paid those fees to apply to those schools. I applied to like 50 law schools, 50. Because I was like, my LSAT score is not great and I want to guarantee that I at least get into some law schools. And I'll just admit, my year was, I think it was one of the hardest years for application cycles because the LSAT was 10 points higher than the average. I don't know why. But anyways, I'll just say I was getting rejected from some schools that I thought I would get a full ride from. I'm not going to call those schools out, but I'm just going to say I was stunned. Even the schools that I was getting waitlisted from, I'm like, there's no way. So basically I was down to 5 different schools and they were all different. One was ranked pretty high, but I basically had to get off the waitlist to get in. One I was pretty much not committed, but I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going here. It was good money. It was a decent rank, but I just hated the location. And then the other 3 schools, I was kind of waiting to get off the wait list. So I had eliminated like the 20 other schools that I got into, and I just had 4 on the wait list and 1 that I was planning on going into if I didn't get off the wait list for the other schools. And anyways, it was about a week left, and I was planning on going to the one school that I thought I was going to in that state. I'm not going to call the state out or the school out because I don't want to like throw shade or anything because I didn't like it. But anyways, the week of law school starting, I heard from 4 different law schools and I got off the wait list on all 4. You all know the one story of how I got screwed over by that one law school that was a pretty high ranking. I'm not going to talk about that though for this story. But basically I got into Miami, Oregon, and I can't remember if the other one was Iowa or Wisconsin. I can't remember. It was one of those like Midwest schools. I can't remember though. But anyways, the other one, the Midwest school didn't work out. So I was between Oregon, Miami, and the other school that I was planning on going into. And Miami gave me a good bit of money, but they basically told me it would be very hard for me to find a place to live and rent was super expensive, which I should have done the math. If I had gone to Miami, I would have saved a lot more money than the school I went to. I was like, oh no, I don't want to pay that much rent. And I'll be honest, I decided to go to Oregon the day up. It was a last second decision. My scholarship was pretty low and the ranking was okay. But I told myself, I'm like, I don't want to wait a whole nother year. I don't want to have to take the LSAT again. I looked at the school that I went to based off the classes it provided, which when I look back, I'm thinking how stupid that was, that I was looking at the class it provided because I'm into sports and entertainment and some of the other schools that I like didn't offer those. But I think it's so stupid looking back at it now that I was worried about the classes because that doesn't matter at all compared to what you want to do. And of course, the school I go to now, their ranking has just gotten worse and worse. It's gotten lower and lower. As schools that I said, nope, I'm not going there, that almost gave me a full ride are in the top 60 now. So don't look at rankings when it's pretty close. Just don't focus on that because they're going to even itself out. I basically went to law school with a lot of debt because I'm like, I want to get law school done now. I know I want to go to law school. I'm in the study mode. I want to get it done now. And I was like, I'm going to have to take on debt anyways. I just want to do it now. I think also because I wasn't super confident in the LSAT and I didn't believe in myself to raise the score to where I would get a good scholarship. But again, that was, I looking back at it now, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Why didn't I wait another year? Why didn't I try and raise my LSAT? Why would I go to a school that's not in even the location that I want to practice in and take on that debt? I don't know. I think I just got so tired of people telling me don't do it, that I wanted to do it. Because it got annoying hearing people say, oh, don't go to law school if you're not in the top 14, or oh, don't go to law school if you have to take on debt. I just got tired of it. I will say though, if you're scared about going to law school for debt, I've been offered a job. I was offered a job with 6 figures immediately out of law school. I turned it down because I wasn't interested, but still, you're going to pay off the debt eventually. It's just a big, I would say, burden that you need to get off your chest. I will say it'll take me like 10 years, I think, to get the debt off. Hopefully the TikTok career pans out though, and hopefully maybe I can pay it off in less time than that. But yeah, I wish I could really answer that question. I just don't know why. I think I just did it because I wanted to start law school and get it going and just move on with my life. And I thought I'd rather live in a place where I'd be happier and have a lot of debt than go to a place that I'd be miserable at for 3 years and not have as much debt. Because I'm like, you know what? I can always pay off the money when I'm older. Right now, I want to live my life and do that. Looking back at it now, though, I think I probably should have chosen the school with less debt. I would have been miserable there for 3 years, but I feel like law school is kind of a miserable situation. It's not always miserable. There's a lot of fun things as well, but it depends on where you live though. Because if I went to that school, I think I would have been miserable. So maybe that wouldn't have been the right decision. I don't know. I wish I could answer this, but I would just say, please be very patient when you're thinking about where to go to law school. And I would say to get advice, but people that gave me advice made it even more confusing for me because people would conflict with what they said. I would say just to trust your gut and believe in yourself. That's all I could say. And if you need to take another year to take the LSAT or to think it over again, I would do that.
I'm not gonna lie, looking at my FAFSA loans today ruined my entire freaking day. Cause why? I owe how much? Nah, like the government is just gonna have to forgive me because I'm gonna be working for the people, you know, like in the medical field and healthcare. I feel like we should get some sort of discount, you know? I feel like you need to be a special kind of person to work in healthcare. We need some sort of discount here. Cause I owe how much money? Mind you, I'm not even done with school yet. That's the crazy part. Yeah, I'm flabbergasted.